Senator Ted Cruz getting very specific and saying the president is essentially getting a free pass because he's a Democrat. Here's Cruz.
If the tables were turned, if this were a Republican administration, if a Republican president and a Republican attorney general had appointed a major Republican donor to lead the investigation into the wrongful targeting of Democrats, if a Republican administration had destroyed the emails, destroyed the hard drives, if a Republican administration had publicly admitted to leaking private citizen information to political opponents of Democrats, Madam President, the Democratic side of this chamber would rightly be lighting their hair on fire. Madam President, if this were a Republican administration, every media outlet would have banner headlines every single day.
Chris Starwell's our Fox News digital politics editor. How you doing, Chris? And good Friday to you.
Living the dream.
Where's this? Yes, you are. Where's this going?
No place good, either for the country or this administration. When you have a president who still, I mean, we remember not a smidgen of evidence of corruption, nothing. If their public position is still, there is no corruption, there was no at the IRS, which is accused of targeting the president's own political enemies. That, by the way, was part of the articles of impeachment against Richard Nixon. If that's what the charge is, and the president's response is still phony, not important, don't care, I want to talk about income inequality. If that's where he is so far away from the current political reality in the country that I don't know that he's going to be able to turn around in time to head this thing off.
Let me show you the poll we put out 2 days ago, because this goes to the IRS, which is considered one of these phony scandals. We asked whether or not Congress should continue to investigate. 74% say yes. That's three-quarters.
Right. And Ted Cruz wasn't lying when he said that the coverage of this has not been exactly what you might have seen under, let's say, President George W. Bush. The outrage has been muted rather than sustained in the establishment press, and that's still the number that goes up on the board when we talk about what Americans think. And remember, always, and as you've pointed out, this is the IRS we're talking about, not exactly the Santa Claus in popularity of American federal agencies.
Yeah, on ABC this morning, was it George Stephanopoulos did an interview, was that right? And he asked him about how half of the Americans have lost confidence in his ability to lead. How did he answer that, Chris?
He said, who cares? The short version of what he said was, who cares? The polls go up, the polls go down, we come back, we're fine. But here's the problem. The president has been trying to outrun his problems and these scandals and this, that, and the other thing for 6 years. Yeah, it's fine, we'll get back to you, who cares? Unfortunately, when you get to this point in presidency and you've become a lame duck and people have lost confidence in you, you tend to get into a terminal spiral. You get into a flat spin and you can't get out of it, your party abandons you, and then you're sort of a prisoner in the White House.
One more point here. In this speech in Minneapolis, I think this really goes to the middle class. He was talking to everyday Americans when he talked about how you lead a good life and raise your kids, not looking to get wildly wealthy, trying to make ends meet. Not looking to get wildly wealthy.
Well, I doubt that Hillary Clinton was happy to hear that, she of the $155 million, but I think it goes to a message from the president that he has uttered again and again, which is Americans should have reasonable expectations and different goals than doing better economically, and should instead be focused on living virtuous lives as he describes.
But listen, middle class is still trying to dig themselves out of a hole. A deep, deep economic hole even today. Chris, thank you very much. It's good to have you back on today, all right?
You bet.
Enjoy.